Hey!
What's up, everyone?
How's it going, folks? Okay, so we have perhaps the greatest geopolitical event of the year, but well, of this year, definitely. It's the first week. Okay, so we can say many things. Trump is going a little crazy. He went into Venezuela. He took your leader. He's currently here in New York. He's next to Epstein.
Next to the...
Yes, Diddy, Epstein, and Maduro. Like, Jesus, guys. What the heck? This is not how we thought this was going to go.
Hope he gets some oil.
Yes. Absolutely, yes, they're doing trades right now. So, brother, okay, yeah, I don't know. Give me anything. How are you feeling? How long has Maduro been in power? Has Maduro been in power for your whole life?
So, basically, Maduro was the successor for Chavez.
Okay.
Chavez was in the power. Damn, I don't remember.
But for a while, I know, was it Hugo Chavez, Caesar Chavez?
Hugo Chavez.
Hugo
So
Chavez.
basically, so there were other parties before Chavez, right?
Yes.
And then he basically He basically used a bunch of military guys and then took the power by the force.
Okay.
So when he took the power, he used military strength. He used military knowledge.
Okay.
So around 500 people. That's what people are not looking at. He killed around 500 people
To actually take power.
trying to take the power, and then he didn't succeed. But when after he went to prison, as I remember, after he went to prison, went back, took the power. It's a whole story, but he took the power by the force.
Okay.
A lot of blood was running through it, and but of course there were times when TV was not a huge thing. There was not social media, so human rights were not viral as currently today.
Right, people didn't know what was going on, actually.
Exactly, and then other countries, each country was living their own story. So in Venezuela, a lot of people were happy because a lot of people were like, "This guy is gonna fight for rights. He's gonna fight. This guy is gonna do what we deserve." Because of course, people had the other governments just basically using the power to get more rich.
Definitely.
And of course to benefit less those ones that were having less possibilities.
Yeah. So did Chavez was a communist? Was at least what he's saying? I'm a man of the people. I'm going to take care of all of the people. We're going to give education. We're going to give healthcare. So was he selling a message to the people? So people were like, okay, maybe it's okay that he took over by force. It sounds like he's going to do good things.
He was a great seller.
Yep.
That was the best thing he knew how to do, selling.
Okay.
He sold his idea to my family, and a lot of people voted for him. At my place, a lot of my family were happy. Oh, he's gonna fight for rights, because he was using the left. He was using the socialism as the idea to create a balance. To say, let's say there's gonna be an equal country. Everybody's gonna have the same possibilities. So selling this idea, of course, in the old times, people were not really informed about what the communism is, the socialism. So we just trusted on what he was selling, which is like
it sounds great, of course. What they are selling in communism, of course, and they don't ever talk about how forcing you to either not be able to work, or forcing you to work a job that you don't want, or not having all of these opportunities that you may want. Of course, they never talk about the bad stuff. When someone's selling you something, they're always selling you the good stuff, and they're going, think about the money for the people, and you deserve it, and you are the hard workers, and we need to take it back for you.
And you get happy.
I get excited. When I hear a communist talk, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, brother.
As population, you can imagine having all the bad guys before, and then listening what he was saying, I was like, if I would be there, I'd be like, let's go! Finally, someone's gonna fight for us. It sounds great. Equal possibilities for everyone.
Yes.
Damn, bro, that sounds great. And then when it came true, then we realized that, because the idea was right at the beginning. The actual idea, he had great intentions. But then after, once he took the power, he was influenced by Cuba. Cuban president. He started using he started using The Libertators, I don't know if that's a word. He was using the Simon Bolivar's bones.
Yes.
He used that to remain in the power. That was influenced by Cuban president. Then after he was influenced by Russia, by China, and the idea stepped into a huge drug cartel, and then the main idea, which was equal possibilities for the whole country, it was equal poverty for the whole country.
Yes. And that's the thing is exactly, it's like you sell equality, and if you can't deliver great equality, then yeah, you may end up giving equality of nothing. Yeah, everybody has nothing. You're all equal.
You're all equal, poor.
Yes.
You're all equal broke.
Yeah, you're all broke and dependent on the government. And in some level, that is actually what they may want.
Yeah, of course.
That's a little bird waiting for food. Feed me, government. Feed me, gobierno.
Yeah, and that's what they try people, and then the fun thing is that a lot of people did not see this, but they started in the schedule, like in the around the year, they added more holidays. They added more. This day we're gonna celebrate this. This day we're gonna celebrate that. This day, and then of course less classes. Of course, having less work to do. So the new generations, they became less educated. So the new generations, they basically had they didn't have the motivation to work and succeed. So they just dependent on the government. They basically just it's a whole cycle. And then all of this was influenced by Cuba, by the Cuban president. Okay. So at the same time, Chavez was going at least 2, 3, I don't remember how many times to Cuba, and then like, what is he doing that many times there?
Yes, but he's going getting like downloads, getting information, intel, connecting to Russia, everything maybe.
Exactly, because by then Cuba had the population already under their full control.
Really?
Years of dictator government, and then in Venezuela we were warned. Cubans warned our families and warned us that's what's gonna happen to you. We're like, no, we're oil. We have huge oil. Yep. We are an oil country. That's not gonna happen to us. And then years after, boom, migrating like cockroaches. Yep. So during all this process, they basically wanted people to be less educated, just
easier
depending.
to control. That's fascinating. It's like, yeah, they can do less work, and then literally the people know less of their own history, have less maybe critical thinking and everything, and less perspective on even the systems that existed before or the other systems that could exist now. Like, because if you don't even teach about almost capitalism or teach some of these other ideologies, then people don't even know what's even possible sometimes. So it's interesting how the education it's like not only it's cheaper and easier for the government to give bad education, but it's also good for them to have an uneducated population to some degree. Yeah, but then they're easier to control. Yeah,
it's basically what they try to do. Because if you have, it's like in a relationship, when your partner is like this insecure people, let's say this insecure guys that they beat their wives. So if they try to have full control of their wives, right? And then for these guys, or like the opposite side, if a girl has a guy, and then the insecurity is that they don't leave, they don't try to leave at any point. So don't go out. I don't want you to meet this guy. I don't want you to meet these people because I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do that. It's the same process.
Yep.
Or parents when they have their kids, and then like, I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do that. Trying to have the person being less educated, so they have full control.
Yeah,
it's basically what they try to do. And that's how it turned into socialism, into communism, which was the full cover was the socialism. It's like when you go to a restaurant, they sell you you can have all this food. Minimum, this is the price, and then you add more stuffs, you upgrade to more stuffs, and then you get full price at the end. It's the same. They sold the idea, they sold the socialism,
and then we all failed. Like the on ramp to communism. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So they opened the door, and once they got the idea bought by all the population, boom, that's the time to use communism. Communism, which is like the government takes control over everything. Everything. They changed the regulation. They changed the constitution. They changed all the organisms that were like the same. The organism that was taking over elections. presidential elections, government, state elections. All the organisms, they were under government's control. So they bought all the institutions, military. They bought militaries, offering benefits to them. The militaries were having cars gifted by the government.
Okay,
China, parenthesis, there were China cars that were only gifted to military guys. We as population, we were receiving discounts and then some stuff like that, but it was not equality for everyone. It was under the government purpose.
Yes, and then everyone associated with the government is getting handouts, they're getting gifts. It's like, that's why, of course, fundamentally communism, of course, seems like it'll never work, because the idea is equality, but then, and the idea is they're going to redistribute it, fairly. But then the point is that whoever's in the government, whoever's given the power to redistribute, all of a sudden, because humans are corrupt, every human has lied, every human has deceived, every human is capable of corruption, that when all of that power is actually concentrated in whoever's hands, 1%, 2%, whatever the people in the government are, that all of a sudden, they're never going to be like, oh yes, now let's implement this perfect utopia. No, they're human beings. They go, hey, my wife wants a new car, my mom needs a new nice house. It's like, humans will be humans, and humans have some fundamental greed and selfishness that almost in capitalism, it's a little bit more honest, where it's like, no, I know you want money, so they try to follow the laws and get money. You can do it. You can make a car you can sell cars, you can sell software, you can be gardener, you can have a gardening business that is everywhere in the country. It's like, there's many different options, but I love almost just this idea that, of course it goes wrong. Of course communism and socialism kind of goes wrong, because you can't just give all of this power and then expect humans to all of a sudden be angels. Humans are not angels.
No, and each person, humans, we're animals.
Absolutely.
We try to say, no, we know this, we know that, but brother, you can trust if you feed a dog and you give the dog enough love, you can trust the dog. It's gonna be loyal to you. Humans, sometimes we're not loyal. We want what we want. We take what we take what we want, and then we are animals that we need rules. So of course, if as population we see that the person is trying to take over the power, we don't see their past. We don't see traumas. We don't see feelings, and then whatever they try to do, especially as governance. They try to take the power sometimes for other reasons, for anything different other than fighting for a country. Some people they don't want to do that because they don't really care about what happened to. Some people don't care about what happened to the lady in the corner. She needs food. I don't care. She's not my family. That's how they think. And then we are humans that we need rules. We need regulations. So we need someone in the power with having a mental structure, which is not what this government had, and it's not what they have been doing for all this time. And Venezuelans as population, instead of being united, instead of becoming one population, we just got separate. As the country was like that, we just got separate. Everybody was fighting for their own reasons. Everybody was trying to take advantage. But it's not only a president thing. It's not only a government thing. Of course, everybody was trying to take advantage of the next person. I'm gonna sell this. I buy this, and I'm gonna sell this higher of the price because I want the benefit. I want the profit. I don't care if it's medicine. If you need it because you have cancer, I'm just gonna sell it. Or it's
times of desperation. Absolutely.
It's a country situation that as Venezuelans we see that, and we blame the government. We blame governance. We blame everything other than taking self-responsibility.
100%.
Yeah, and then that's it. That's the main situation. Well, we went through all we've been going through all this time, and it's a process. It's a process. Sometimes we don't pay attention and then we don't say, oh no, if no one changed, why should I change? There was a mindset there, and then instead of I'm gonna try to change, because if I change today, then maybe I can at least give value on trying to make things differently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Something I have.
Absolutely. No, I feel you. And so Maduro has been in power. Did you live in Venezuela with Maduro in power?
Yes. So basically, when Maduro took over the power, basically, he was at the moment Chavez was having a bad cancer.
Okay, so he got sick.
He got sick, and then
And everyone knew you needed a new leader. And like, did Chavez handpick Maduro? Like, was
Chavez handpicked Maduro.
okay? He was like, this is the guy to continue.
He publicly chose and said, Maduro, you're gonna be my successor on blah 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 blah. And then Maduro, of course, took over the power. As soon as Maduro took over the power, after there were elections, like year after,
Okay.
were elections. Those elections, they lost them. But of course, the organization that was taking over the elections, they were under the government's control.
Right. So I've heard about this. That basically Maduro had a fake election.
Exactly. They corrupted the whole system. Military, because of course the military was under their control. So and when Maduro took over the power.
Imagine being a ballot worker and the military comes up and they're like, "You're going to accept these ballots." And I'm like, "Okay, sir. Okay, what am I gonna do? Get shot in the face? I can't fix the whole system." So it's almost like at some level it makes sense if the government wants to steal the election and they have the literal power of all of the guns and military. At some level, what are we gonna do?
And that's what happened again. Like I said before, when the whole country is corrupted.
You're right.
Like there's so much dirtiness, there's so much corruption in the country in so many aspects that sounds normal.
Yep.
Like cheating on a relationship, on loyalty, taking benefits from selling something that should not be at that price. These are little things that are out of regulation, out of rules. That's what we said. That's what I said before. That humans, we need regulations. Because this ending about the elections, this is just one more part on a huge corruption cycle that started by not taking the right actions. So once Maduro was repeating the same process on every election, they just remained in the power, basically using their own law. They created their own organism. They created another organism that was only following their instructions and their regulations. So they created everything apart, and they, of course, along this process, they stole companies. They stole companies. They stole the huge oil company, Venezuelan huge oil company, and their arguments for stealing companies was like, this company is not following what I'm trying to say, so let's shut it down. And then the government, it's owning. It's ours right now.
Yep, and it's such bogus because if the government's the one that makes the rules, they can just move the goalpost to make it so you're not following the law. They're like, oh, actually, we just passed a new regulation that says this, like a new fake bullshit. Like the government, of course, can just fuck with companies and make it so that they cannot stay alive or stay in business. And then once they drop or once they go out, then they go, oh, perfect, scoop it up. So it's a fascinating against, like, yes, if you give too much control, consolidated power to the government, where they can literally, and they're allowed to own companies. That's like a fascinating thing with literally just like kind of scooping it all up for themselves. But that's something interesting where it's like, we need a balance of like some free market. Like there's something about like a business that's not supported by the government or not fully supported. That's like, it's more like honest. It has to like fight for itself. It has to prove itself. Because like the government can kind of it can do really bad work and they just hide it. Like it can give really bad results and they're like, oh, well, whatever, we're going to try something different or we'll try better. But it's like a company actually, if they go out of business, they fucking go out of business. So it's like there's something about a business that's not controlled by the government, of course, and it's kind of in the market that it has to be more responsive and reactive to the actual conditions. But yeah, so did Maduro and the government, did they like mismanage these resources? Is it basically like they got it all together and then like he was in power for like 15 years, Maduro, or something like that? Or is it longer, 20 years?
I don't remember. I think it's,
Has the population been like hating him more and more? Like has the population becoming more and more dissatisfied, even though he's still winning the elections in a fake way? But like, have you guys for the last decade or two been like, dude, what the fuck is gonna happen? We need to change this.
So what happened is that a lot of people support Chavez because Chavez did great things.
Yeah.
Like
he did do some great things. What are a couple great things that he did? To be fair to him.
About, for example, the whole the
Healthcare for all.
healthcare became public. So there were a lot of good.
Yeah, that's an example of
Good
a
doctors.
socialized thing that I like. That's an example. Like, the government owning all of the companies in the country, to me, is crazy. Because I'm like, the government doesn't know how to build a fucking, like, necessarily how to build the best iPhone or the best, all of these different products.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work. They
Yeah.
own it.
But healthcare is something where I'm like, it would be nice for everyone to have a basic amount of healthcare, obviously. So
That's
like,
good because
yeah.
we all need it. And
Yes.
then
Exactly. We're all human beings. We all get sick. We all will die. So at some level, it's like, even as AI and shit, kind of comes up in our society, you go and you start to imagine, like, what does it look like? What does fucking society really look like if people are working less or people are not working the same types of jobs? And it's just interesting because you go, yeah, you don't want to just give them cash so they can go spend it on drugs and Jordans and shoes, but at some level you go like, kind of like the fire, again, to use like the fire department, if anyone has a fire, they call the fire department and they come. So it's like, it would be nice if anyone got sick, they could go to the doctor. So like, yeah, there are some beautiful, grounding, good ideas, of course, in the idea of
that's one of
socialism.
that's one of the good ideas that he had.
And he implemented it, so he did get it.
He implemented it,
Yeah.
and that was good.
Yes. I've heard the same thing about Cuba, about Fidel Castro.
He
There
implemented-
is very high healthcare, so like that is one good thing.
He implemented more scholarships for students.
Yeah.
That was another good thing. But I honestly I don't remember a lot more
Yes,
things
for sure.
because I was a kid. Me personally, my family got affected because he stole the entire oil company. My dad got fired after
Really?
25 years of savings.
Really? Hell yeah. He's mad about your dad getting savings stolen. He's like, fuck Venezuela government.
It's like
Fuck
free
Venezuela.
Maduro.
Yeah.
Nah,
So
my-
your dad had worked and saved up money, and he had both the company stolen and his savings.
yeah. So
Is that a thing that they drained your bank accounts?
yeah. So they
Because that's fucking crazy.
No, it was over the company. All the savings and stuffs, they were under the company.
They were in the company, so like he owned
Yes.
stock, he owned a part of the company. Or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yes.
Not like stocks, but they have like their
Some
savings.
percent. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So when the government erupted the company, they stole the company. So everyone that was not supporting their politics or that was against what the government was doing got fired immediately. So people, it don't matter. My dad had 25 years of working that company. People worked there for 40, 35, 50, and they got fired without anything. One hand on top, one hand in the back. Like nothing, brother, nothing.
Jesus, wow.
So that was the first sign that this is not right. This is starting the wrong way.
Yeah.
When that happened, and then the company, of course, went worse every day. Because you can like again, the socialism and turning to communism as soon as they started stealing companies. They stole the metro company.
Mhm.
Venezuela had one of the best infrastructures about metro. The metro was, I think, the best or one of the best in South America. And then it became the worst infrastructure after the government owning it for years because, dude, it's not, you're gonna have 5 fingers in front of your face to understand that a government that is stealing a company is not doing that for good reasons. So,
And it takes so much to build a company from the idea, but then finding funding, getting a group of people together, like a co-founder, a chief technology officer, getting a group of people who are like-minded, focused, and passionate, and then investing together money and time, building a company, making relations with your clients, making sales, learning how to, whatever you do, your manufacturing, whatever, like, it takes multiple smart people working for years to build a valuable company. And then the government can come at the point of a gun, steal it, and they do not know what your company really does. They do not have the connections you have, and they don't literally have the knowledge about your business, and they don't care. And so it's like they can't care because they didn't do it. The people who built the company and who have been running the company, and the company has been feeding them, and they have been investing in the company. These are the people that can run the company, and these are the people that literally not only can but also want to, because they're getting a living out of it, and it's what they know how to do. So yeah, this idea that like a couple dorks from the government or a couple people who know nothing, don't care about it, know nothing. It's like they just can't fucking do it. It's not how it works. Of course that's gonna crumble.
and it's at the end they're just using the power.
Yes.
At the end they are just they're just trying to do what they want. They're not doing what it should be done.
Yep.
They're doing what they want, and that's when you realize, all right. So, and then you start making some researches. You look into their past, and you see, oh, this guy, his dad got killed by this organism, by the police. So this guy is actually furious, and he's mad about these people. So all they want is revenge. Because that's what happened. That's what happened with most of the guys in the government. They're just full of bad emotions. So they don't even care about the people. They're just full of record, and they're just upset about what happened to their family. Yeah. They don't even care about what's going on in the country. So once Chavez started doing that, that was the first time. That was the first huge red flag. That was like, okay, this is gonna go wrong. We gotta do something about it. We never did anything about it. So in 2017, people were upset. People were done about being hungry. We had to be in a line. I remember one day.
You get food lines?
Yeah, and then that was cute. That was cute shit. I remember one day I was in a line since 5 a.m. I was with my grandma. I went to college. I went to college. Tell them that I could not go to class because I was making a line for fucking package of I don't remember what I was trying to buy.
Flour or something.
Flour. Yes. I was trying to buy a package of flour, 1 or 2. If I was lucky, I could get 2. Because it was my grandma and me. So
it's not a grocery store like here where you're walking in and you can get 100 if you want.
It's a grocery store, but it was regulated by the government. Secondly, then, so everybody could have equal amount of food, they regulated how much each person could have by making lines, right? So I remember this day it was since 5 a.m. until 3 p.m. and then at the end, one of the guys in the store said, "Oh, I'm sorry, the floor is, whatever food we had before is over. The only thing we had is toothpaste." So bro, I left after all this time with two stuffs of toothpaste.
Yeah, so
what the hell I'm gonna do?
You got a clean ass mouth with no food going into it. you got a beautiful pearly smile while you're starving to death. Oh, that's nice.
Something broke in my head at that point.
Oh yeah.
And then that's when you start getting when I started getting that mad, you see more people getting mad, and we protested about it. We did more protests, and what the government did, instead of listening, sending the military and shot the students.
So there was shootings and killings.
Students got shot.
Yep.
They were using multiple the police, the military. They were using all of them to kidnap students. I saw how students got kidnapped in front of me. Mm-hmm. I saw how we were on a huge walking. There was like a marathon we were doing as a protest, and we had like 2 guys walking with us, and we lost them along the way. When we got to the end, we lost these guys. We were like, where these guys are, and they disappeared, never came back. We never saw them again. After that day, and then just like that, you saw how the militia and the police. I saw how some students were taken, and then we were just hungry, dude. We were just hungry. Yeah. We were thirsty. We were trying to have a country with a normal country, which we supposed to be. We were we had the huge oil reserve, the biggest oil reserve in the world. Yes. And then we were hungry. There was no laws. There were no regulations. I got robbed multiple times, and I think the 4th, the 5th time I got robbed, I was like, this cannot be true.
The 4th, 5th time, you didn't even have anything. The guy's like, you have nothing. He gives you some money.
Dude, there was a point when I got robbed the 3rd time. I got robbed a bag, and then in my bag was I had a sweater and I had a toilet paper. Yeah. And then when I got robbed, I was like, no, this was the toilet paper that I have for any time I have an outdoor emergency. Yes. Bro, I got so pissed because I got robbed a toilet paper. How do you think someone can live a normal life?
Please, give me a little bit. Leave me a little bit. No. You're like, brother, don't be an animal.
I was not even upset about the bag, about the sweater. Yes. I was mad about the toilet paper.
That's like your basic human dignity. You're like, brother, come on.
Oh, and then so after that, it just repeated the same cycle, and then that's when more protesters, more students got killed, and then that's the point when, as Venezuelans, we should be in one group. If we were one group at that point, as Venezuelans, the government could have taken out of the power, but we
And what
did
year is
not.
it? 2017, 2018?
That was it started on 2014 actually.
Wow.
2014. Never mind. I'm sorry. If I make mistakes, I am so distracted.
Hell yeah.
I get so lost about the dates.
Okay,
So
good.
it started at 2014,
Yep.
and that's when people got upset, protest, and then students got killed, and then of course by the only guys trying to fight were the students, and then
that's-
you
yeah.
see.
And it's beautiful but hard because young people want change, they want progress. They're almost like they're naive and not even in a bad way, but in a good and bad way. Like they're almost like they're young enough that they think they can change the world, and you can change the world, but also they think they can change everything about it, and you can't change everything about
You
the
can't.
world.
You can.
Yes.
You can see 30 students, 30, 40 students, and a group of 50, 60, 70 militaries, and then they were armed. They had weapons.
And,
They had
and the people are afraid. So
bulletproof cars.
Yes. And when I hear you say like, "Oh, if only the people could come together as one, we could have taken the government back."
Exactly.
And taken. And I of course hear that, and obviously it's like obviously to me I'm like yes, fucking take the government back. But there is almost, just to be fair to the many people who were afraid, it's like that's what's so brutal about that type of government, when the government again goes kind of bad and goes power crazy and becomes not even something that's really fighting for you. It's like and it becomes your enemy. Then it's such a crazy thing because it's like, well, if I fight back, they're just gonna come and kill me, or they're just gonna come and take my daughter and take my fucking house. And it's like, so it's so interesting that the relationship between like the human spirit for freedom and for liberty, but also, of course, how fearful we are and how we have so much that we love and care about and how vulnerable we are.
Exactly, and then also I feel that also we were not taking it seriously,
Yep.
because in Venezuela we talk everything as
And what do you, how do you,
using humor.
really? So you're
We're
kind of
making
like, yeah,
jokes.
fuck it, like, yeah, the government's crazy, or like, or this
Yeah.
is how it is. Like, do you kind of, you have to have some level of almost like acceptance of it while it's happening? Because
Exactly, and not everyone got really affected. So the thing is, not everyone got really affected at first. Me personally, I was affected, but not everyone suffered.
Right.
So until one person was really affected, that person did not protest. So of course, I think hunger was the biggest reason some people started fighting, because as soon as they got hungry, as soon as they start feeling.
Yeah. If you're not gonna fight, then when are you gonna fight? When
Exactly.
your literal stomach is growling, eating itself alive.
Exactly, and then as soon as I remember there were some times we were in the protests, and then it was like 2 p.m. Everyone is leaving. Of course, they have families, they had kids at home. Students got killed, students got shot. So there was a moment when you saw on a protest, and the point when you could stay and fight. 30, 40 students, bunch of militaries. I was like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We're done. We should just go home because there's no support. We're just gonna get captured and then
Yep.
taken to prison, and we don't know when we're gonna be free. So there was a point when I was like, there's no election. There's no we leave this country, or one day something's gonna happen to us, or you have to live under the government's regulation. People got taken. I remember this was my bottom line when we were on one of the protests, and we had 4 barricades, and then when we had these 4 barricades, we used a lot of trees and pieces of some other stuff, trash, to be able to stay protected. We had no idea about what was a military strategy.
Mhm.
And then we were surrounded by police, military, and then that was the first time I really saw the hand of God, because we were surrounded, and then I remember my friend told me, bro, we got captured, bro, we're done, we're surrounded. And then I remember this police guys, they opened the first barricade, they remove it, and then the motorbikes were about to start coming for us. And then I heard, because at that point I was like, I'm done. My face was like, I'm done. And I heard a lady open a door. She was like, come here. Dude, I get goosebumps, because that was the first time I was like, I gotta leave this country. She was like, come here. We run to that door, and when we run there, we went to the balcony, and the motorbikes, vroom, vroom, vroom. Dude, that was the first time I was like, all right, I gotta leave. I gotta leave. You're gonna catch me. And then way more other stuffs happened.
And she was like an angel, like a guardian angel.
She was a great
I
angel.
love that, just to take that as a metaphor, of course, for God's work. I love that so much, that the walls were closing in on you. You had no options. You said, I am done for. We are caught. We are captured. I have no choice. And then when you literally when you yourself can do nothing and you are helpless, only God can save you. And literally, I love that. Literally, God goes, come here.
We had no election. Dude, we were surrounded. We were surrounded. There was no election. And only this lady opened the door before the motorbike started coming. That was crazy. That was the first time.
That's extraordinary. That's really
That was crazy. And then, of course, so years after, the government just kept doing the same thing. And then more protests, more students got killed, more students got shot. And then, so currently, right now, what happened? One day, so firstly, the government was surrounded by a bunch of ships. I don't remember 10,000 militaries around the ocean, and then basically finally the government became famous as the fact that they are traffickers. They had a huge cartel.
And I heard something happened during COVID, basically when Biden was president from 2020 to 2024. That Nicolas Maduro's sons were captured. I don't know if they were captured in Colombia or something, but they captured them with like suitcases of cocaine. I don't know if this is true.
Nicolas Maduro's, I think his niece. I don't really.
But like family members, like direct.
He got captured.
Family members.
He was here.
Yes.
And then he
with a lot of drugs, I think, like with a.
He got captured with drugs, and he was here in prison.
Yeah. And then
he
we
was
released him
released.
in a
Biden
released him. But Trump's making good on Biden's mistakes.
Biden released him, and I was like, "What are they doing?"
Yep.
That was my sign that they were just connected. They were just working with each other.
For sure.
Some of
Maduro's nephew was probably selling the drugs to Hunter Biden, so it was all connected.
And then of course when they could not be refugees anymore in the U.S. because of Trump, now they're refugees in Spain. They've been a lot of the government people. They've been using Spain as a refugee for years.
Yeah.
So that's another fact. Spain is working with Venezuela.
Oh really? Okay.
So
for both Spain and Venezuela, we need to help take care of the governments, work on their governments, and import all of the Latinos into America. We need to absorb all of your beautiful Latinos. We can take care. We can help your country. We don't want to destroy them, make them big and beautiful. But for now, certainly for at least a little bit, we need to bring all the beautiful Latinos to safety.
So they can this store. It's gonna be a huge combination. It's gonna be a nice combination.
Yes.
Spanish is gonna be another thing. Yeah. But getting back to what happened right now. So and then now, U.S. attacked not Venezuela.
Right.
They did.
We didn't kill any citizens.
It was a beautiful operation.
It really was fucking historic, dude. Like they've been planning for months, in the fact that like first they sent in the F-18s and F-35s way up in the sky, taking out all the anti-aircraft.
To cover the sound.
And then they send in like hundreds of ships from 20 different locations, and they're flying right above the houses. All and then massive military.
They got the one objective.
Yep.
And then he got captured in 20 minutes.
Yep.
Left. Bye.
Yes.
That's it. The operation was done. But that's when the novel started.
Yeah.
So you see, and then I watched my phone. Damn, it's 12. Oh my God. Venezuela is getting bombarded. Oh, finally we're gonna be free. And then went to bed, 5 a.m. Maduro got captured. Damn, Maduro's captured. Finally, we're gonna be free.
Yep.
4 or 5 more hours. Trump spoke at 11 a.m.
We're gonna run it.
U.S. is gonna take over Venezuelans' control until the transition is safe. Oh, yeah, we're gonna be safe. Because we don't... What have we done with 26 years of freedom?
Yeah.
What have we done? Nothing.
Yeah.
And then people say U.S. is going for the oil. Oh yeah, of course. In China, Russia, and Iran negotiating with the government.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
For what they were negotiating? Getting oil for free, getting gold. Because China was getting gold, the Venezuelans gold as a It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Who were who was taking the benefits?
Yeah.
The government. The government was taking all the benefits, and then so all this happened, and then now the military is again on the streets. The dirty military that the government uses to commit bad actions. Now they're on the streets. Now they're kidnapping people again. This moment.
Okay, so they're back on the streets. So basically, we didn't actually put troops on the ground. So when he says we're going to run it, that's the thing is we're not actually running.
That's what I don't understand.
So, and the vice president is still there, and she's saying Nicolas Maduro is the president.
And she was announced. The vice president got announced as the current president. And then you see all of this, and you see like what's the control? Where's the control?
Right.
People are getting kidnapped. People are getting kidnapped because of having messages of the government. Because of like sending. Let's say you send a message to your family. I'm happy. Maduro get captured. If someone sees that on your phone, then you go to prison. Not for 1 year. You can go to prison for 20, 25 years.
For sure.
And this is all happening. This is all happening right now.
So it's a desperate time. They might fucking kill you. Like they might not have power. So who knows how desperate they are?
And they declare estado de conmoción, which is I don't know this in English, but it's like they basically can do whatever they want.
Martial law. Or martial law, where like in periods of extreme issues, then the military can do like anything. They can literally go home to home and check your home.
Human rights are done. It's not existing
suspended,
right now.
Basically,
it's suspended. So I'm like, dude. And then yesterday, the first thing I saw when I opened my phone was like, Spain, Colombia, Uruguay, Chile, and Mexico. They signed a document against of what happened to Maduro because it's a violation of human laws and international law. What were you doing when a bunch of students got killed?
Yeah.
What were you doing on 25 years of oil being stolen and negotiated by all these guys, and its Venezuelan monthly salary was $3?
Yeah.
So it's something crazy that right now everybody is trying to take action.
Yeah.
Right now, when the only guy that took action was basically he took the main head and started a huge process, and now everybody's trying to take action.
Yeah.
So it's like as Venezuelans, I don't know what to think.
Right. So
honestly, I don't even. People ask me how do I feel.
How can you know? Yeah. How can you even know? Because you literally don't know what's gonna happen. What if Trump literally doesn't? What if they keep Maduro, but then what if they actually don't go and put like people on the ground to actually run Venezuela? So then what if they let the vice president take over? And what if the vice president actually is worse than
we don't know what's going to happen?
I say that about Putin sometimes. People go, why don't we just go take out Putin? What if Putin, say the top 10 guys in Russia, what if Putin is actually the friendliest of the top 10 guys? And what if all of the other 9 guys in the room are like, oh, if Putin dies, we're going to fucking nuke America right away. So like, at some level, yes, even if Venezuelans celebrated specifically Maduro being captured or removed, it doesn't technically mean really anything about your entire society right now. Because what if this is all that happens and Maduro's just gone, but then they still govern, the whole government's in charge, everyone's still there, the military's still under that control. It's like, so it's like you're in a period of extreme uncertainty. You have no idea what's going to happen.
It's crazy. We have no idea. So at this point, I'm not even. Me particularly, I'm not even happy for what's happening. I just have I seriously have
chaos.
No idea.
It really is
chaos.
So,
because you know if I started thinking about what could happen, we could be conquered by the U.S. and become one more state, and they could take all of our gas.
Now I'm just gonna ask out of curiosity. How would you feel about? And this is completely be honest. You know the situation with Puerto Rico in America, where they're like citizens, but they don't serve in the military or whatever or something. Like it's kind of like, how would you feel about that? Is that something that you go in your bones? You go, I will never want Venezuela to be a territory of the United States. Or do you go?
Right now we have no election. Right. We are just literally we took our pants down and we're just waiting.
Yeah.
Literally because there's no election. We've been
so they don't even have a schedule. There's not even they're not even pretending to have an election.
We had yes, they're gonna have an election. Okay, there's gonna be a transition, but we don't know. Anything can happen right now.
Yep.
Because one thing is what they show, and another thing is what they're working on behind the wall. So at this point, I don't even feel. I have no feelings. We use literally everything. Anything we can do right now is keep praying and trust God on the best for the next day. The best and the only thing that works for us right now, that will give us strength, certain wisdom and peace, mostly peace, is trusting God and waiting. It's the only thing that we can do.
Yep. Because there are forces that are larger than us, and there's international forces with these big, unbelievable countries and powers, and it's like
this is a spiritual fight. At the end, this is a spiritual fight because these guys, they were in the power using a lot of bad stuffs. They were using Simon Bolivar's bones. They were working with them, spiritual stuffs, but using dark magic.
Yep.
So at the end, it's a spiritual fight in between the good, and the bad.
Yep.
Between the light and the darkness.
Yep.
But people don't see that.
Yeah. Do you have, so like, just as an example, like, so basically right now, like Trump said, we're gonna run Venezuela, but then they're not. It seems right now. So like, what for you as a Venezuelan, if Trump said I'm sending 10,000 troops to go lock down the capital, would that be something that's good for you? Because then that would be those 10,000 troops would probably be displacing kind of Maduro's troops that are currently
right
there.
Now. That's the best case scenario for us.
Yeah, you guys want more United States involvement. You want that kind of control.
Technically, yes. Because
it's safer right now than what you've had for the last.
And then it was like that before.
And you see how we live here, like, you know, at a level. Again, not saying that, of course, that Venezuela will become America or something, but it's like at some level, it's like. It's not like we're fucking Saudi Arabia where we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make Venezuela like us, and we're gonna pull all the women out of the fucking cars, and we're not gonna let women go to school. It's not, we're like, we're gonna drag you into the Stone Age. America's pretty fucking sick. So it's like at a level, yeah, it's just interesting, yes.
And that's what happened to Panama. For example, Panama was in a bad situation, and people like, oh no, that's what's happening to Venezuela. Is what happened to Panama. Panama is beautiful right now.
Really?
Everything's working, business.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's a good example, actually.
Yeah.
Is that a good example of regime change? Okay, I'll take one. Panama.
Because the country right now is we have the only resource that we have is oil, but the infrastructure is destroyed. Electric infrastructure is destroyed. We don't have anything that is properly working right now. Only, I don't know, like private companies, maybe some private investors that they brought their own resources. But the biggest infrastructures, they are all destroyed. They're not working.
Really?
We need resources.
Yeah.
We need resources, investment, money, and then who can be the best rather than the U.S.
Yeah.
Because we have Russia, China,
and
Iran in.
And that's the thing is in this fucking. In some people's worldview, they'll be like, well, ideally, they shouldn't have to make a deal with anyone, and they could just kind of like self-determine. But that's not how the fucking world works.
No.
When you have 20% of the world's oil, China, Russia, Iran, America, we all are gonna need to have a fucking relationship with you or care about you. We want to know what you're doing.
And that's how countries make deals.
Yes.
Let's say the arancels, the tariffs.
Yeah.
This thing is. There are deals that needs to be done. Okay, I gave you 20% on my oil, and then you give me a discount on it's called business. And we as Venezuelans, we cannot be in a situation now we are gonna do everything by ourselves. We haven't done anything. We haven't done anything. And best case scenario for us is what's happening right now. We gotta trust that everything's gonna be good, everything's gonna be right. And literally trust, and then if nothing happened, let's move again and try to take a different action. But we've been having the same situation for 26 years, and then nothing was gonna change until Trump did something about it.
So this is at minimum a healthy chaos for your system.
Exactly.
Because you needed this to happen for the next thing to happen, for growth to happen or be possible. It might be chaotic.
It's not that we had other options.
Yes.
Because the entire country was into poverty. Nothing was going to change.
It's been going down.
It's been going down.
Degrading.
And then it's been, sometimes it's like steady.
Yep.
and then people that invest or do something different, they might be able to make money from staying connected to the government, or like there are certain amount of people that can they're able to make money, but that's not how a country works.
Yeah.
There should be laws, regulations, salaries. That's how a country is supposed to work.
Yeah.
A lot of companies left because of having the fear to be stolen.
Yes,
and then because the infrastructure and then there was no regulation, so it was like when you go to someone's house, there's no regulation. They can punch you in the face because it's like you can punch me right now, and then we can fight, and then until we open the door, and then and they call the police, nothing is gonna happen. Venezuela was the same, and it's the same right now. So this was our only and best option.
Yes.
It's not that we had an option.
Right.
No, we didn't have an option. People are trying to, no, Maduro, what's happening? Brother, we did not have an option.
Yes, and that's and when you're truly desperate, and that's the thing, it's like, then whatever option you have to walk it. Because it's like, what are you gonna, it's one thing if you somehow had fair elections and there's an election coming up and you were like, oh, no, we don't need to take out Maduro because we could do it in our free, fair election. Like, that would be another option, but you don't have that option. So it's like, if you literally cannot vote out your government, then how the fuck is things gonna change? Either a revolution from the people,
exactly,
or another country comes and actually cuts off the head of the snake.
That's the only case, because we did not even have the main option.
It's been 25 years, y'all didn't do a revolution. And I'm being respectful. I'm not saying that I would have done a revolution either. I probably would have left the country. I probably would have done something like that. Because again, I don't know. Sometimes I really, to fight a revolution, yeah, you'd have to be really fucking ready to die for that.
Exactly.
And thinking that it's possible. And it's like, and sometimes again, it's like, sometimes you're like, a lot of revolutionaries over the history of the world, they tried to be revolutionary and they just got murdered, and and they didn't do anything. They didn't change.
And then
anything.
a guy, Oscar Perez, this guy tried to do something about it. He tried to create a revolution, and then he was like with other 4 or 5 guys, and then they got brutally killed.
Ooh.
That's when the government used the power. This guy was in one house, and then he appeared. He showed up in multiple protests. And then he was found on one house, and then there was another lady that was pregnant, and then the lady, and then like I think 3 other guys, bro. At least I don't remember 200, 300 police or military guys were sent, and then bro, weapons, they use bazookas, AK-47.
Yep.
They just for 5 guys.
Yep.
They just
annihilated the fucking
all of this for 5 guys.
5 guys, burgers and fries. Yep.
And that's when you see no, there's nothing we can do about it. That's when people ended up losing for completely their faith, and we just gotta leave.
Yep. So how many people have left? That's just another question that I definitely have. Like, what is the population of Venezuela? 20 million? And how many people have left? 1 million or 5 million?
I think 6 million.
Total?
6 million total, yeah.
And how many people were there?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know the statistics.
Yeah,
I could make a research.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I have
quick.
No idea.
That's a good thing for us to know, Venezuela population.
It's a good statistic. So
but millions of people have left, and you are an example of one of those people who left.
Yeah, and then some people left.
Like political persecution, you left. You're a refugee from Venezuela. Is that will you describe yourself, or just you immigrated out?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the population was 31.3 million in 2024. Probably way more before, but around the immigration is around I think 6 million.
That's a lot, man. That's fucking 1 out of 5 people in the country.
That's wild. And if you see the statistics, Venezuela was one of the countries that had the last percentage. One of those ones that had the last percentage of migration. Mm-hmm. And why? Because we didn't care. Yep. We didn't even try to do that. Not because we didn't want to explore, because we were happy. We were okay in our country until life was not good, and then there were no resources. There were no expectations about a future. So we had to migrate, trying to find better life possibilities, which that's what happened to other countries. They had to migrate, but we had to do it because of the government that was taking all the power and the money and the resources.
Yep.
So what we can do?
It's like an unwinnable fight.
Exactly, and then we try to do something about it. We try to take action. But when you see a bunch of people getting killed, taking action, the more people get killed, and more people get killed, you're like, I don't want to be killed. I don't want to die.
100%.
No one wants to die. So we're like, what we can do? Leave.
Yeah.
We cannot fight against. We don't have any free will. Because if you say something against the government, they can capture you. For example, I had this tattoo and I had to keep covering it sometimes because the military could. You're against the government. Boom.
That's what that tattoo means.
Yeah.
Really?
Because this basically means that Venezuela is about to die. So after this part, Venezuela is about to die.
Oh, really?
So I of course I was personally affected by it. My family was personally affected, so I had the feeling that I had to do something about it. Yeah. And then it was stupid because I did it on my arm, but it was the only way that I could. I don't know. At some point, it made me feel better.
Yeah, you're part of the resistance.
Exactly.
Absolutely. 100%.
And then
that's why I have a swastika in my arm.
That's when you go to the gym to the But yeah, dude. And then at the end, what else you can do? Yeah. What else you can do if you cannot fight? If you cannot express yourself?
Yeah.
If you don't have possibilities of future, there's no salaries. It's so hard to. Definitely. It's hard to sometimes find food because maybe the only job that you could do was taken. The company. So it's like a survival. It's like a survival routine every day, every month. So there's at some point. What else you can do? Try again, and then there's one point when you get exhausted. Yeah. You get exhausted, or when your life is on risk. That's when you realize I gotta leave. Yeah. I gotta leave. When you had a gun in your head, that's when you say I gotta leave. That there are so many bottom lines that takes you to that makes you take that decision. See a gun in your head. You see how some of your colleagues got captured, and then that's when you think if I get captured, I don't know when I'm gonna be free. Yep. My dad lost a job after 25 years of working because the company got stole. What could happen to me? Yep. There is no respect on human rights.
You literally cannot invest because it's like you might get put in prison today for the wrong tattoo or the wrong text message, and then even if you do invest for years and try to be a good citizen and follow kind of the rules, then you still can take everything.
And who's gonna take action about you? No one. No one can do anything about it.
That's a really scary feeling because I'm not going to lie, as an American, and this is maybe partially naive of me, but I think it's also true though. I kind of do feel like I can count on the government, like a little bit, like not to necessarily save me or protect me.
And you can express yourself.
Yes, exactly. Like at some level, there is this feeling that we can change it through elections. Like we see different people come in. We see Biden, and then we had Trump, and then we had Biden, and then America goes back to Trump. So it's very interesting how our power does go back and forth. And of course, I am skeptical of government. I don't think government is going to save us or anything, but it is very difficult. And for me to imagine, I it feels very hopeless and very scary and very just unstable to imagine feeling literally, because I am a person who loves free speech and I love telling my opinions and I have some crazy opinions. So I would be fucking killed quickly in Venezuela. I would be fucking killed quickly in Cuba or North Korea or Russia.
What would you prefer? Leave, right?
Of course, absolutely.
If you cannot express yourself,
yes,
you don't have life possibilities. What else can you do?
Yeah.
Try to find possibilities on somewhere else.
Yeah.
And your life can be on risk. And the only way to have possibilities is living. That's when you realize I gotta leave.
Yeah.
And then when you see that
was it emotional? Yeah. How did you feel when you were about to leave? Was it a quick decision? Did you go I'm going when you get the woman said come here, and then you got to escape? Did you leave the next week or did you leave a month later? Did you plan it? How did you know where you were gonna go? Give me a little bit on that.
You have to plan it. So it's a bottom line. It's a bottom line when you realize that the country is not a safe place for you anymore.
Yep.
And especially
that's very emotional. That's a really crazy thing to get to, where you go This is my homeland. These are my people. This is my country.
And it's a whole
difficult.
change that people think we do that because we want it. No, we didn't want to leave for our country. We had our friends, family, comfort zone, everything we wanted, and then didn't really want to leave. But there's some point when you have a lot of accumulated stuffs. You cannot have food in a normal way. I remember one of the times I got robbed. I got a gun in my head.
Jesus.
And then I saw when in the protest, I almost got captured. I saw guys that were next to me that were walking along together. They got captured. They never found them again. My dad, that was a huge thing that was in my head, and I did not realize about that until I grew up and I psychologically worked through it.
Yes.
And that's when I realized that was of course there, and that's when you realize all these accumulated things. That's when you think I gotta leave.
Yeah.
I gotta leave.
And sometimes it's almost like it's like there's such painful. It's painful to get there, but there's a clarity. Like sometimes you see clearly, and often it's after you have been through a lot of pain, and after you have tried so many things, or maybe this will work, maybe it'll change. But after you almost kind of get exhausted, you almost finally see it clearly, and you go.
And when you go to, especially when you go, I remember the first country I went to was Colombia.
Yes, I was gonna ask, where'd you go first?
That was right next to Venezuela. After I went through more stops, but I cannot say I cannot tell them on camera.
Yes.
But one of a couple of those stops were my bottom line, and then that's when I was like, I gotta leave. My life is at risk. I gotta go. And when I went to Colombia, supposed to be safe. And then I went there.
Mi amo es Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. Plato plomo.
No, I was there. No, you could have a normal job. You could have a normal salary.
Yeah.
And then.
So it was actually relatively normal compared to.
Relatively normal.
So when you got there, you're like, oh, I could be like a bartender or something, or like
a server.
Like,
when I went there, I saw that I went to the supermarket and they have food. You could buy whatever you want.
I was like, 3 loaves of bread, baby. Woo!
Yeah, I was like, dude, I can buy as many eggs as I want. Let's go.
You get some eggs, you look at the women, you go, I can live in Colombia, baby. I can live here.
And I lived there, and one of the Venezuelan protest guy that was there was delivered by the Venezuelan government. Was delivered to by the Colombian government to the Venezuelan government.
Okay.
That's when I realized it's not safe anymore.
Okay.
And I got stabbed. On my leg for someone trying to take my phone.
Oh really?
Yeah. And then I was like, this is not safe. I gotta leave. And then I went to Venezuela. From Venezuela. I moved to Spain.
Okay. So you went back to Venezuela.
I went back to Venezuela.
Okay.
I moved to Spain.
Okay.
And then in Spain, everything's supposed to be safe.
Yes.
Everything was okay until the current government came to the power.
Yeah.
That they practiced the same politics, and then I had some other experiences that I could not talk about them on camera too.
Yeah.
Neither, and that's when you realize they're just connected. These guys and the other guys, they're just connected, and then that's when you realize how it's hard to find a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
That's I have no words sometimes.
Yeah, no, 100%. And at some level, it's just crazy because almost really there is no place that is safe. Almost, it's like because it's like how could you guarantee safety? It's like even if it's the safest country in the world. If people are free to move around, it's like, of course, people can stab you. They can fucking, they can do crazy things. It's kind of like, exactly, like there is almost nowhere on earth that is truly safe. It's maybe for like this moment we are safe, but for all we know, again, a nuke is going to drop from Russia on Austin in 5 seconds, and then it's not safe, or some guy down here starts shooting a shotgun in here. You're like,
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost, it's an interesting idea, but when you were in Spain, did it feel safer? Did it feel like
at first, yes.
Okay, so but then it got to a point where you were like, no, I can't be here either.
There was a point when I had to. I was there. I was happy. All the
For how many
years.
years were you there?
I was there for 7 8 years, and then I was happy until.
Yep. So you had a
some
good
point.
run there. You had a good stretch in Spain where you were
Yeah,
satisfied, happy.
It was safe for the first years.
Fuck yeah.
For the first years until I realized that it was not safe. It was not safe anymore,
Yeah.
and because of the same politics.
Fuck.
And
was
of
it
course,
connected to you in Venezuela? Like, did they know about
Yeah.
you in Venezuela?
yeah,
So like it was almost like something like, oh, you're kind of like you're not down with our side or you're not on our side, and that's why you're here from Venezuela. But then all of a sudden they're like, well, we don't want people or something. They're like, yeah. So it was related to the stuff in Venezuela. It wasn't just new stuff.
it was all related.
Okay.
And a lot of Spain was having a lot of contracts with a lot of deals
Okay.
with Venezuela undercover.
Oh, really? Like kind of shipping people back or stuff like that, or you're just like
Not in that
Not
way,
that way.
not in that way, but some of the criminal groups in Venezuela, they were moving to Spain and using Spain as a refugee
okay.
in exchange for oil too, and
Yep.
for some other assets. So it was all connected. It was all connected. That's when I realized that it was not a safe place anymore.
Definitely.
But here we go, one more time, trying to see what's gonna happen the next day, brother.
100%. No, that's great. So okay, yeah, we talked about a little bit Maduro in the background, Chavez into Maduro, the kind of declining, infrastructure, stuff like that, electrical grid, the 2014, 2017, 2018 student protests and stuff. And then up to in the COVID, kind of like during COVID, his whatever nephew or something got caught, Biden gave him back. And then up to the present day where we're literally sitting here right now. The other South American countries kind of signed on that deal or signed on that thing that they don't approve of it. But I almost sit there, and like you said, but you weren't even doing anything while we were suffering. It's almost like those countries are just signing that because they're like, we don't want you to come take us. Those are like all those presidents or prime ministers they're really just like covering their own ass. They're like, we don't like this because we don't want you to do it to us. But because really, they're not maybe talking about what's best for Venezuela.
It's basically because they were connected to the Venezuelan government. That's what people are not seeing.
Yep.
They were connected to the Venezuelan government, so they were having in private. Venezuela, Colombia, and Mexico was a huge route of
for sure.
drug trafficking.
Absolutely.
So that's particularly affecting Colombia and Mexico.
Yeah.
The possibilities that Venezuela is free, and as soon Venezuela gets free, that's like it's like when you have a bunch of cockroaches in your place, and then you clean one, and then when you clean, and then as soon as you kill the first one, you're gonna go for the next ones. It's the same.
Yep.
It's the same. They just know what's gonna happen to them. People are gonna notice it. So it's a whole it's a whole new movement. It's like finally being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But
yep. So we will see. Obviously, we can maybe literally next week we can do another little follow up, see what's been going on. But okay. So right now. We have Maduro. Venezuela is literally they do not know what's happening. Trump said, I watched this thing yesterday for 30 minutes. Trump is like, he just kept saying, he's like, we're going to send in the companies, send in the oil, rebuild the infrastructure. And it's just like,
it's the best we can wait for.
Yeah. And it's like, at some level, it's just fascinating because you go like, I respect the fact that actually he's being honest about the oil, because that's the thing is I don't like when politicians are such bullshitters when they're like, this is just for the freedom of the Venezuelan people.
At least he's saying
exactly
whatever he's trying to do.
Exactly. And they mention that as well. They go, it's better for Americans to not have a narco-terrorist running Venezuela. So they go, it's better for Americans. It's better for Venezuelans to not have a narco-terrorist controlling them and taking their power. And then also, it's better for America to have a strategic interest and to have a relationship to 20% of the world's oil supply. And also, we're not going to let Russia and China come put over their troops and just set up this base like they did in Cuba in the fucking 60s when like Russia was using Cuba as this forward operating base.
Venezuela,
America, 100%. So it's like, I like this like, oh no, we're just gonna do it just for the Venezuelan people. It's like, no, life is complicated. Life is chaotic. It's exactly. All of these countries that are involved in Venezuela have interests of their own. for resources, for security, and for safety of their own people. And so like that is actually, I kind of respect a little bit of the honesty, where it's like, yes, everyone wants your oil. You're a hot girl. Venezuela is like a hot girl with beautiful boobs and a beautiful ass. Everybody wants to fuck you. So at some level, you know that, and it's almost like that. Now, how do we treat you?
Exactly.
You already know that we want to fuck you. So yeah, and now it's like, well, how do we treat you? Are we a good dater? Do we dance? Are we romantic? So
exactly.
like,
There's interest in the middle, and
yes,
everyone is
yes.
gonna have interest. So there's nothing for
because you're a fucking sexy country.
Of course.
You're naturally voluptuous with your oil reserves.
The oil, the minerals, and the resources.
Absolutely.
And then and of course our beautiful
Beautiful
Venezuela
culture and people, obviously, of course, but at some level, on a national stage, you can't almost blame countries for being like, wow, what's going on over there? Because it's like, again, it's just, the truth is there's limited resources on this earth, and when you have a lot, it's like, it becomes a different kind of supercharged thing.
And again, I probably made mistakes describing the situation.
Yes.
I'm not perfect. If you guys wanna put on the comments if you have any corrections, please do not attack me. I'm just trying to
Attack me.
He's the one making the question. No, just kidding. But I'm just trying to show what it feels to be running like a cockroach for 26 years.
100%. No, I love it, dude. That's good shit. An American and a Venezuelan. Friends, brother. Friends, we'll figure it out.
And brothers.
Con God. Cada momento es un milagro. God will guide us. Trust in God.